Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we will be working on story time. Recently, I went on a vacation to Fuerteventura. This is a small island in the Spanish territory, and I thought, wouldn't it be a great idea to teach you some travel vocabulary? You will learn different phrases and expressions which can be used in an airport or traveling around a city as you visit in an English speaking country. I'll also give you some details about my trip so you can practice your listening skills. So, listen up. So, my trip started here, walking on the airport tarmac to get to the plane. The runway. To taxi. The runway is the road that the airplane drives down. To taxi is another way of saying to drive, the slow drive that the plane takes down the road. You can put this vocabulary together by saying, the plane is taxiing down the runway. Take off. That's the moment when the plane leaves the ground. You could say, the moment of takeoff is very exciting. On board. To arrive onto a ship or airplane. You could say, all the passengers are on board, so we can take off. Here's some more useful vocabulary when you are in and around the airport. From left to right. Tower. Baggage reclaim. Captain. Flight attendant. Tourists. Seatbelt. Trolley. Luggage. Security check. Bag scanner. As we're up in the clouds, why not some idioms with the word cloud? On cloud nine. It means to be incredibly happy, as if you're high in the clouds. For example, she was on cloud nine because it was her wedding day. Every cloud has a silver lining. It means there is something good in every bad situation. For example, even though he'd lost his job, the silver lining was that he got another job offer soon after. Okay, so it's story time. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my relationship with the Canary Islands. I have visited 4 of the 7 Canary Islands over the last few Januaries. The first island I went to back in 2019 was Gran Canaria. After that, I went to Tenerife. Then it was Lanzarote last year, and this year it was Fuerteventura. I go there every January because it's an opportunity to get out of the UK, which is quite cold and quite miserable in January. It's usually very cloudy, very overcast in the UK in January. So it's my opportunity to get a little bit of winter sun and to relax because the beaches there are absolutely stunning. The 7 Canary Islands are Gran Canaria, Tenerife, Lanzarote, Fuerteventura, La Gomera, La Palma, and El Hierro. When I went to Gran Canaria in 2019, I remember feeling like I had landed in some kind of alien planet. It was a very strange experience seeing the landscape there, seeing the quality of the soil that's there. It was a dark black color, very rough, very coarse quality of soil. There was very little vegetation. What I could see, the things that were actually growing was quite a lot of palm trees, lots and lots of palm trees everywhere. In fact, the full name for it is Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, which translates to the palm trees of Big Canary. But of course, nobody says that. Most English speakers will just call it Gran Canaria. There was also a lot of cactus, lots of cacti plants there, and I think I saw a lot of aloe vera being grown around there. On one day during that trip, myself and some friends went for a drive to the top of a sort of a viewing point where it's a great place to see a large part of the island. And I remember looking out into this valley of mountain ranges, and they were tall and jagged and dark. And I remember thinking, if a Hollywood film company wanted to film a movie which was science fiction and set on another alien planet, this would be the perfect place for them to film it. It was very much an alien landscape. I'd never seen anything like it before at all. When I went to Tenerife, no, that was a completely different experience. Again, I was there with some friends, and I got an opportunity to see a large part of the island. One of my friends is a local, and they took us for a drive on top of a mountain, well, on top of a volcano, which is called Teide. Teide is the highest mountain in all of Spain. It was a very interesting experience for me to get to the top of that volcano, the top of that mountain. We had to kind of drive round and round and round until we got to the top. And one thing I noticed as we were driving was that the higher we went, the dizzier I felt. I got a headache, and I guess it was the altitude that we were climbing at. But I felt incredibly dizzy and I felt incredibly strange the higher we got. However, the trip up the mountain was incredibly worth it. It was beautiful. It was stunning. And to see that much of the island from that high up, it's an experience I would definitely repeat. Tenerife is also a very lively island. There was lots of activity, lots of tourists, especially from the UK, Germany, and I think there were a lot of Norwegians there as well. And I could tell by the names of some of the shops that were there that they had a lot of German or English names. So it was definitely a little hub for Western Europeans who wanted to visit there as well. So quite a lot of English speakers about, for sure, and a lot of the staff who worked in restaurants spoke English as well. Although, if you're there, it's a very good opportunity, if you can, to speak Spanish as you're there, because why not? Why not take the opportunity? And as I also speak, let's say, intermediate Spanish, it was a great opportunity for me to flex my Spanish speaking muscles. It was amazing. Last year, I went to Lanzarote. That was an entirely different experience. I was lucky enough to rent an apartment 2 minutes walk from the beach, and let me tell you, that was an amazing experience to be able to just walk out the door and the sea was a hop, skip, and a jump away from our door. It was amazing. It was beautiful. The water was pristine. It was like visiting paradise. The street that runs along the coastline is filled with bars, clubs, restaurants, lots of shops. So there was an opportunity there to see many things and to enjoy yourself. If that's the kind of holiday you're looking for, it was a great place to visit. Very affordable, I should say. Prices were pretty good. If you're traveling on a budget, it's a very good place to go to visit, and you can still get 3 meals at a very, very good price. Although when I was there, we stayed in an apartment, so we had the opportunity to cook for ourselves as well if we wanted to. And so we popped into the supermarket and we were able to find affordable food. We cooked some meals and then we bought some meals. So you get the best of both. So you can save money, but at the same time, you can enjoy relatively affordable food in restaurants as well. On this fourth island that I visited this time in Fuerteventura, I noticed that it was a very different vibe. It was a lot quieter, a lot less people about in January. I mean, to be honest, January is the low season, but since I've been going to the islands only in January, I think I can make a pretty good comparison in terms of the amount of activity. On Fuerteventura, I noticed that there was a much less emphasis on attracting a whole lot of tourists. There were beautiful beaches. In fact, it's known for its beautiful beaches. I know that there are some surfing beaches there, so they're very, very popular with surfers. On some of the other islands, there are a lot of cafes and bars right on the beach themselves, and you can see a lot of beach chairs which are lined, which you have to pay to sit on, and someone usually comes around and collects a fee from you. But on all of the beaches I went to while on my trip, there weren't any of that. They were more natural, just the open sand. You can walk out to sea as you please. But what I did notice that each of the beaches I went to, there was a lifeguard present, so that was pretty good. Um, but definitely at this time of year, if you want something a lot quieter, a lot calmer, less tourists in January, then Fuerteventura is definitely the place for you. Above all, I felt very relaxed while I was there. I felt at peace. There were a couple of nights which were quite windy, and it was very, very funny because some of the trees that were lining the area where my apartment was were permanently bent at the top. And I'm almost positive it's due to the fact that the winds can be so heavy. So the trees are permanently bowed at the moment due to the strength of the wind. All in all, I thought my vacation to Fuerteventura was exactly what I needed. It was calm, it was peaceful, it was quiet, and the beaches were stunning. I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of English on Vacation. Come back soon for part 2. If you would like to show your support for my channel, you can buy me a coffee. Link is in the description